Hey folks, how you doing? Chris Steinke here, and I'd like to welcome you to this session where I plan to show you the greatest feature I've ever implemented in my entire life. It only took me a couple hours. I'm going to show it to you in probably about 10 minutes, and by the end of it, you can implement it yourself because it is actually incredibly easy to do now that we're in this new world of AI agents and LLM and using our low-code, no-code flow designer. So I'll go ahead and we'll start by showing you a demo of just what it is, and you'll get to see why I think it is so incredible and cool. So what we're looking at right now is a portfolio record. In ServiceNow, we have project management. We're calling it service portfolio management as well. But you have this idea of these portfolios. Then underneath these portfolios, you're going to have things like demands and projects and issues. And in those projects, you're going to have status reports. So it's just this ton and ton of info. And a customer had come and they had said, well, what could we do? Could you do something where like my project manager comes in on a Monday and we want them to know what they need to pay attention to? And we put that in place, and that's this portfolio we can review. But then I was thinking about it, and it really wasn't that much of a step to just make it so that we could ask it anything and get any answer out of it. So in this example, I've added two new fields to this form, right? You could do this in any way you want to. I like things easy. So I added a question and an answer field to the form. So what happens is when I type a question in here, and then I hit my portfolio answers button, it sends all the information, well, not all the information. It sends key information from the projects, the project status reports, any issues that have happened, and it sends all of those to the LLM, and then I can basically ask it any question. It sort of turns it all into a gigantic retrieval augmented generation system. So let's see what that would look like in practice. So now I gave that example that I mentioned where the customer wants to know, what should I pay attention to when I come in next week. And what it's doing again is it's grabbing all the information, it's sending it to the LLM. The LLM is processing it, aggregating it, using the context that we provided, and it's gone ahead and now it's summarized. So it's kind of given us information on each project. It's helped us understand where to direct our attention. And can you imagine if you had to go down into each of these projects and review all the status reports and pull all this information out? It would be crazy. Right? It would take you forever. But here we've done it in an instant. Now, in this example, I can see that our evaluation tools has encountered some licensing issues. Okay, well, I'm kind of curious what's going on with those. So maybe I'll ask it more. So what's up with the licensing issues on the eval tools project? Right? Conversationally, even with some misspellings, it's sending that information, it's interpreting it, it's aggregating it, and now it's pulled back because again it knows what's in the status reports, right? So it knows what's in everything, and we can pull this information out, and I can see it's been escalated over to Beth in legal. Oh, fantastic. But you know what, I wonder, are we getting kind of dependent on legal? I wonder how often are we having to escalate to legal? I don't know. How often are we doing it? Imagine you going to your analytics or your reporting person and asking them this question and asking them to extract it. Here we just click a button and instantly we find out that actually that's the only time we've had to do it. So that's good. We've had some licensing issues, but really that's the only time we've had to escalate to legal. So that's fantastic. But these are just some examples of questions. You can ask it anything you want about it. Should we consider consolidating any projects? I don't know. Should we? Are there some projects maybe that are behind or low ROI that we should consider consolidating? Now, I'm not going to trust the LLM to answer this. I'm not going to put an auto button and have the LLM start doing this, but it tells us where to look, right? It tells us areas where we can have some focus. And you can see here, we've got some, now this is all demo data, right? So we've got some projects with no potential return. Other ones that maybe consolidated to the project managers. It does still say down here, because our LLM is looking out for you, right? You definitely need to go and look at this yourself, but now you know where to look. And I can even put in something like, list every project, the project manager, and the planned start date. in JSON format. So not only can I get information, can it help me understand where I need to look, can it act as my sort of de facto reporting tool, now I can even have it format stuff for me. So it can help me, again, to extract that data in ways that might be beneficial to me. So amazing feature. And again, only took me a couple hours to implement. And so let's look at how we do that. Now, what I mentioned is that we have this portfolio record, and it's got projects in it, and it's got all these different things. So what we need to do is we need to bring back information and data from these to give it to the LLM. So if you think about it in your mind, we need to sort of create a big variable where we're just going to put all this data so that we can give it over to the LLM, and the LLM can do its processing. Now, if I come down here and I look at one of these individual projects, you're going to want to sit down in your data. You're going to want to look at your data. You're going to want to look at what fields are you using, what fields are you not using, what fields are you using inconsistently. When you're looking at your data, you might not be happy. No one's happy with their data. There's always something missing. There's never anything great. What you're really looking for are fields that are used consistently. And that especially, or fields that have free text to be entered. So something like the business case, that's a great field to process. Definitely if you're putting in financials, you want to try to bring those in so you could ask questions about financials. But basically you want to get an understanding of what are the fields that are relevant on the project that you would want to ask these questions about. And then you create a flow. This is a subflow. No coding is required. Basically what you do is you start with your inputs, right? And our input, think about it, we're at that portfolio. So our input is going to be that portfolio. That's the first input. And then our output is going to be this big, gigantic string that I was talking about. So once we have our inputs and outputs, you then go into a lookup and look up records, plural, not singular, look up records. So you look up your project records, and you look those up where the portfolio is that input variable. See that initial input variable? I just dragged that over there. That became my input. So now it's only going to find me projects related to that portfolio. And then I order them by planned start date. Then we need to do a flow action where we go through each record. So we say for each item in our lookup records, we're going to set a flow variable. And this is where all the magic happens, right? So this is where we've got our flow variable that we create. So you come over here and you go to flow variables, and you're going to want to create a flow variable. In my case, I called it aggregated response. And again, it's a string. We set it to the output at the end, but right now it's just a flow variable. And then we're going to set that flow variable. So as it goes through each project, it's going to grab the name of the project manager. It's going to grab the status, state, business case, all of these relevant fields. And again, you can put more fields in. The one thing you want to do, you want to have your flow variable at the top. So as it cycles through each, it continues to concatenate or sort of cycle after the next one so that you get all your data. And then in the end, what you have is this gigantic string of data. And then you assign that to your output. So our output is then our aggregated response. Right? So again, we're going through the projects, we're pulling out relevant data fields, we're writing those data fields into a string, and then we're returning that string as the output. So where are we going to use the output? You might ask, well, that is over in our skill kit skill. So here is the portfolio answer skill kit. This is where all the magic happens. Now I have a couple inputs. You can see I've got the question as an input, my field, and then I've also got the portfolio record itself. So I've got two different inputs. Inputs are when you know the values ahead of time. Tools is when you need to bring in the value, when you need to pull it in. So you can see here I've got my get issues portfolio, what we were just looking at, get project for portfolio. And I also have get status reports for portfolio. I could have combined these into one. I broke them up because it seemed like a thing to do at the time, but I could have combined them into one. But you can see here it's going for our get portfolio for get project for portfolio, and my input value here is my sys ID. So that ties it all together. When this runs, it's going to take that sys ID from that original portfolio record, and it's going to find the correct values in the information we want. Now over here is my prompt, and I use the prompt assistance to write that prompt. And then I just put in the different pieces. So, you're basically answering questions. Here's the question. Then I have the name of the portfolio. Then I put in, here are the project records, here are the associated status reports, and then here are the different potential issues. And then I give it the instructions, review the information, and that's it then. Pretty much you're good to go. Once you activate it, oh, sorry, there is one step. You need to create the deployment UI action. So when you come over here to the UI action, you're going to do something just a little bit different, because we need our question as our input, and then we need to write our value back to the answer, right? So over here in our portfolio answers, you can see over here is where I say the question is the current value of the U question field, right? So I'm telling it what these different input values are by setting it off of the current portfolio record where we input that question onto the screen. Then down here, we're writing our response. But you can see I've got it going into the answer field, right? So it sends the query to the LLM, it gets the information back, writes it to the answer, and then it updates the ticket. And that's it. Once you've finished publishing the skill, you do need to go over to the Now Assist admin section and activate it from there. So don't forget that very important step. You go over here to our Now Assist admin. I think it's under experiences. Oh no, it'll show up under features, other, unless you put something else. Here you would just select it, and then you just walk through the activation process. It's really easy. You just click two things. It then sets it active, and this will change your UI action to active as well. So you don't need to change the UI action. This will go ahead and do it when you activate it. So good luck. Hopefully it'll be as straightforward for you as it was for me. If you have any questions, please feel free to post or reach out, and good luck. Thanks, everybody.